Craftin buddies. That's Late Night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting, coming to you at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, September 21st. It is still before midnight here in Wisconsin, so I just barely made it. Let's see if I can get my devices up to speed so that I can follow along in case anybody joins me live. And we've got just a couple of announcements. Let me see if my sound is working. Let's see here. Got one device that caught up. Let's see if the other one will. And I should have sound, but sometimes you just never know. There we go. All right, so I have sound. Now I just need to catch up with my other device, see if anybody's following me yet. Hey, Juju, welcome. Wasn't sure if I was having some technical difficulties tonight. All right, turn that volume off. How are you tonight, Juju? Did you do a live tonight? I didn't even check. Sorry about that. All right, so a couple of quick announcements. You probably, oh, there's my silicone mat. Guess I don't need that over here. So World Card Making Day, October 4th, my little 30-second commercial here. Register for this. It's a free event. There is a kit that Stampin' Up! Is going to feature. So if you want that kit and need more details, let me know. Stampin' Up! Is going to be doing some online classes available for purchase starting October 1st. If you want more information on that, let me know. And this other thing is a new 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar. I'm really looking forward to this, actually. It's big. It's like bigger than a book. And every one of these doors will have something in it. So dies, paper, embellishments, more items you won't find in the catalogs or in the online store. And there's a stamp set that goes with that that's exclusive. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. I will be ordering that, and then I will share with everybody what's in there. So I really had no idea what we were going to do tonight. I've been putzing around and trying to clean my space, which is like a never-ending battle. But it is what it is, right? When you create stuff, you create a mess too. So I cut out a few things because I had some ideas in my head. I don't know exactly how it's going to turn out, but I cut out a bunch of the haunted houses. I cut out some of the bats. I cut out some of these arch things, and we're just going to throw some stuff together. Since I was doing that scrapbooking stuff the last few days, I thought, why not give it a whirl? So we'll see what happens. I'm going to put these dies away so I don't lose anything. I also used, well, these are the dies from the Spooky Halloween Suite. These are the Everyday Arches dies, and I'm not sure how this stuff is going to turn out. So it may just be a one and done sort of card. I don't know. So we'll just push some of that stuff over there. I had so much stuff left over from that scrapbooking workshop kit that I thought maybe I could use some of it for some cards. Here was the instructions for that Halloween Memories. So if anybody else is just peeking in and watching and not interacting, if you're interested in this scrapbooking kit, watch the last 3 videos that I did, because I featured all of the 2-page spreads for that. And I'm not going to bother to show those again tonight because you can go back and see the replay. But we do have a whole bunch of extra elements. And I'm just going to take some of this stuff out of here, and I'm actually going to store some of it because the two-tone cardstock I'll put with my other cardstocks so I can get it put away. But I thought I really liked these book things. And I like this striped piece, but I also like the green. And these other pieces I think I'm just going to kind of put away, maybe. I don't know about that. And maybe we'll make some more scraps, who knows. And then I've got some extra placeholders. I'm going to put those in with my other memory keeping things. But we're also going to pull in the paper from that Spooky Sweet, and we'll work something out. And if it doesn't turn out, like I've said before, it's just paper. All right, so I think we'll start with these things here. We might not use the black and white striped stuff, so maybe I'll just put that off to the side for now. Because what I have started here, I mean, look at all this extra I have. I could do extra scrapbook pages because I had the pool party. I've got the gorgeous grape, 2 full sheets of the granny apple green, and it's the 2-sided cardstock or the two-tone. Oh, you got to work some of your scraps down this weekend? Well, yeah. Rub some of that off on me because I really need to work down some of these scraps. So I'm just going to set these things aside because I pulled out those. I think that's what I'll probably maybe use. We'll see. But I thought I would do like a little Halloween themed thing. I had a couple of ideas. So this is, this might be like gray granite. I don't even remember what color it is. These grays, I've got basic gray. That's basic gray. And then we've got some smoky slate and gray granite. So this dark one is a basic gray. So this I've got 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4 1/4. I did 2 of them with 1 sheet, of course, so that I've got 2 card bases ready to go. And I have no idea what we're going to do here. But I kind of thought what would be fun is to take a bunch of these haunted houses and create kind of a faux embossed look on here. And attach those on here. And then use that as if it were an embossed layer. And then if I pull in, I trim these obviously, but if we glue those on there, and then if I use some of the elements from the Designer Series paper pack, there's some fun stuff in here too. So, oops, let's just put this back on here. We could use the hippo mummy and put him on there. We could put a sentiment on, just do something like this maybe, and just do it super easy. And then let's see where'd my stamp set go? You could even just put Happy Halloween on there. What kid wouldn't love something like that, right? But what I also wanted to do is there are these iridescent treat bags. And how fun would it be to have that behind the house? What do you think? So I think I'm going to use the die, and I'm going to cut a bunch of those out with the die and just see what it looks like. So we're going to bring out the little, I think I'll have to trim that down a little bit. That'll be fine. That way I don't have to bring out my big machine. But these treat bags are cute. I mean, you can fill them with just a little stuff and fold them over and make some little tags on here. But I thought it would be fun to have them as the shimmer behind the house. So let's go ahead and take that haunted house out of here again. And we just cut this down, probably 3 strips, huh? Let's start in here. I'm sure this would cut good on my trimmer, but I'm just going to use some scissors. Quick on there. And this will cut out 2 at a time because it's a bag after all. So let's see if that will. I might have to run it through there twice. I might have ruined this one. I hadn't considered that it wouldn't cut all the way through on the first run. But that might be because my bottom plate is a little warped. Let's give it another go. Maybe just run it through again just for good measure, right? Since I'm on a roll. So did you have a good weekend, Juju? Did you have to work yesterday? I don't remember if I saw something come up on my notifications that you said you weren't going to have a live because you were working. So these pieces here, I don't want the punch outs to come out. So I'm glad they kind of stuck together because then I don't have to worry about piecing all of that together. So let's put, that was kind of a lot of work. Maybe I would just put that on 1 or 2 of them. Let's do a little tear tape. I think that'll work. One of these days I'll have my stuff all planned ahead for like a week of lives, and I'll know exactly what I'm going to do. Yeah, the weekends are usually too short. And I'm retired, so it's like every day's a weekend, and it's just like the time just flies. Oh, hi, Bonnie. Didn't quite get this lined up, so let's see if I can peel this off. That's coming. Let's try that again. I may just have to trim what's laying over because that doesn't really want to cooperate. Although that does look kind of cool with it. You might not be able to see that very much. It's going a little over the edge, but that might actually help keep some of those pieces in place. And I'm going to look to see what it looks like if I have tear tape behind here to keep those little portions in. Yeah, this is kind of more intricate than I expected. So let's take this tear tape off and see if you can see it through to the front. No, not really. I don't think it'll show much. All right, so let's use this as kind of like the focal point because I don't know if I want to put this on every single one of them. That's kind of more work than I feel like I can handle tonight. So let's put this as kind of our little focal point here. Because then if we put our little hippo over here, with his backing piece. We'll see. Oh, and I'm going to have to put more tear and tape in there because that actually, that's a second layer. So I guess that won't be as much work. I'll do 2 of them. Because I had two layers for that bag stuck in there. So you just never know how it's going to work when you don't play with it, when you don't practice ahead of time. Juju, you don't plan any of your stuff ahead, do you? You just kind of fly by the seat of your pants when you go on live? Or do you plan it ahead what you're going to do? I need a little bit of tear and tape up there, I think. Hi, Sala. I'm glad you saw I put those measurements on there for that other project. I figured I needed to get that off my to-do list. All right, so let's go ahead and trim a little bit of this off. I don't even know if you ladies can see that through here. But it's kind of hanging over the edges. And I don't want it to look really silly. I could probably just cut all of that off, because that one won't even show. All right, we'll do that. We'll take kind of the lazy way out. Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one that doesn't have everything mapped out ahead of time. Sometimes I think that's when you get a little bit more creative, right? When you get a little bit of pressure on. Oh, and actually I'm going to put this down along here to keep all those little pieces in. I don't want them to fall out. They might now. Who knows? Since I have that other layer out of there. I should get my take your pick tool. It would make it easier to pull these off, but I guess I'm doing all right. So now, Sally, you'll have to show me what you do with those measurements, what cards you and Amanda maybe make. All right, so we'll put this one here. And I'm not going to worry about, there's a little bit of overlay here. I don't think I'm going to cut anything else out. So let me put my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine away. All right. So let's go ahead and put, I guess I'm not going to put any of them upside down, because that would look silly at this point with them like this. We'll just put them all here. Because originally I was going to go like this, and I forgot. I could still do that. Should I put the other haunted houses upside down? Or leave them all right side up? Because these would have to go like so. What do you think? Upside down, right side up, or all right side up? Hey, Fifi, welcome. So we would go like this. Oh, there you go. The 5-year-old could do it, sure. Absolutely. Good to see you, Fifi. I did get your email with the measurements. I haven't looked at it yet, though. All right. So what do we think? Right side up or upside down? And maybe this hippo's too big. Maybe I don't want to even do a whole hippo. Maybe I want to do our little princess girl. What do you think? Because she'll go with the pink background of there. What do you think of that? And then I know there were some little banner pieces or something. Here, there's like a banner piece here. Oh, I don't know. Let's do a happy Halloween. I don't know where I'm going to put the focal piece. I'm not even sure what that focal piece is going to be for this card. Who knows? All right, so let's do a big happy Halloween. And maybe I should emboss that. Yeah, it might cover the right side up houses. I was more worried about having one of them because this has these iridescent treat bags as a background on those, which I thought was kind of fun. So it's kind of shimmery, but it was a little more work than what I felt like I could handle tonight to put it on all of them. I'm just feeling like I can't quite manage that today. So happy Halloween. If I embossed it on here, that would fit. And we could do it across maybe the bottom-ish. Let's put this up here. So I could do the houses right side up and upside down, or I could just do them all right side up. So I'm doing like a faux embossing technique here with the tone on tone and having them just attached there. So these extra edges obviously will get cut off because otherwise it's not going to fit in the envelope, of course. Versamark. Rotate the card front upside down so that the top and the bottom rows would be right side up. Oh, well, at this point, I kind of can't do that because it'll open the wrong way. Because if I do this, then it's going to open the wrong way because I attached these already. And I use tear and tape, so it's really going to rip. Although I could just cut this off and let it be a raised layer too. I could do that. I have another card base. What do you think? So you're saying make these houses upside down? Because they're the ones that have the shimmer in there. Can you see the shimmer? Yeah, the shimmer should show up on there. So these others are not going to have that shimmer in there. So that's why I was thinking if I just glued them down there, and maybe it would look better if I had them glued. And then you can actually see what it looks like. So all right side up. They just fit so nice together when you put them upside down there because it fills in all the gaps. But then here, these are going to look kind of goofy if I put those upside down. So everything right side up. I can do that. And that'll look fine. All right, so let's go ahead and emboss this Happy Halloween on here. And I think I'll do it, where did my strip go here? I think I will do it with black embossing powder. I would try one landscape with all the right side up, but they're already glued down. And if I try to rip them off, it's really going to rip the paper. For once, I attached stuff right away and I shouldn't have. Oh, and now I have to find my black embossing powder too. Yeah, unfortunately, I glued everything all at once this time, those front pieces. That was a mistake. Because I hadn't really been thinking landscape because then I would only be able to fit 2 rows of houses. Yeah, maybe I'll try it another time. It's just been a scattered day for me. I thought I would get a lot more done, but we were outside today and we took apart a chicken coop, partially took it apart, our old one, and we gave it to friends of ours who want to have chickens. And so we helped go over to their house and kind of, we didn't really set it up, but we got it in their yard at least so that they've got all the pieces and everything. Now, what did I just do with my lid? Here we go. So we did that, and that took a little bit of time. And then I was outside with the chickens, and nope, let's see. What was the wonky part? I missed that. Oh, Mama Juju, you like it upside down? Some of the houses upside down? Because that's really kind of how I liked it. You know, what if I did them like wonky wonky? That might be kind of fun. Oh, I kind of like that idea. I could even put some sideways. Well, that might not work. What do you think of that? Well, isn't that wonky? Isn't that what you mean by wonky? I think it's kind of wonky. Have you guys ever read the book, The Wonky Donkey? Now that mid layer is already down. Yeah, it is already down. My mistake. I just wanted to get them attached so that I wouldn't mess up the iridescent layer. All right, so there's that embossed. Sorry for the noise. All right, so keep them all right side up. All right, no changing our minds now. The middle layer is already down, yep. All right, so that's what it's going to be. That is what it's going to be. But you know, I could put pink behind some of the houses, but that kind of takes away from the tone on tone look. All right, let's just make a decision. I do feel like I'm in good company with the little wonkiness here. Now, what I'm doing here is so that I don't have to kind of measure and guess where my glue is going to go. I've just flipped over my piece in the center so I can see where it's going to hang over the page. And then I'll know I don't have glue beyond the edge. All right, so we'll put this over here. And I'll trim that off when we're done with this layer. So this one, I can't flip this one. I can go, no, I can't. It doesn't work like the other one did. All right, so this one, I think what I'll do is kind of lay it on here where I want it. Flip it over here and take my little pencil. All right, you've got a big day tomorrow? Keep chatting then. You don't have to stop chatting. Stay awake. No. Or you can go to bed, whatever you need to do. I think that's what I need. All right, and then this one, we'll just kind of do the corner over here with glue. Is it just a back to work day, Juju? Since you had the weekend off? Or is there something big going on? When I worked in the hospital, we used to everybody would get worked up when Joint Commission was coming through. And I figure, you know, if you're doing stuff right, what difference does it make if somebody's coming to look at you? Oh, Sally, you're already at Monday. That's right. It's not that great. It's a Monday. All right, so let's go ahead and trim these edges off right away before I change my mind, right? That one got a little extra glue. Back to work, lots of meetings. Oh, you have a new system coming in, huh? Your charting system or something else? They use Epic up here. I want to do this from the back. All right. And we'll do a few here. And we'll do a partial over here. I'm going to start with this little partial one here and just trace around there. Yeah, that is a lot of had to, Sala. You will get to the point where you can do the wanna-dos. If I want to do it, I will. If I don't want to do it, I won't. And today, I couldn't remember what day of the week it was for part of the day. It's like, okay, we had a party yesterday. I'm going to go like this. We had a party yesterday for my great nephew. I might have said niece before, but it's my great nephew. He's turning 4. I had that right on top of the other house, which is not what I wanted. Okay. And we'll go to this middle line of the window. So Juju, I'm thinking, are you admin or are you like on the floor? Do you do patient care or admin? I don't remember if it's come up in conversation. It probably did, and I'm probably just not got my brain turned on. I actually, it's crazy. He's 4. He wouldn't appreciate cards like this. I have made him cards in other years that have like designer series paper that I just make into candles, and I use like the a punch, like the ladybug punch or something, that, or a leaf punch that makes it look like the flame. I've done that for him before. But we actually found he's into Spider-Man stuff. So it's like, I don't have anything that's Spider-Man. You know, I'm thinking if he likes dinosaurs, I've got some old dinosaur paper. But I ended up finding him a poster that was a card. So I gave him that. He can hang it up in his room. He wouldn't appreciate the handmade card. So I lost track of time and didn't get it done. I felt a little guilty, but then I felt a little okay that he's 4. He's probably happier with the Spider-Man poster than with a card from his Aunt Lori. You know? You need to save the tops of the houses for another project? Yeah, I could. I'll probably lose them. You know, I can put them in my die case. So this one I should probably be careful because I can probably use the whole thing, right? The whole piece I'm cutting off. help if I cut it all the way off. All right, so yeah, I could keep some of those. Turn it into a bunch of haunted houses or something, not that piece, but that's just a partial house. I don't know. I'll probably end up just cutting new ones. All right. So I don't know if my vision is going to be realized here or not. This needs a little dab of glue. Yeah, he would have been fine if I didn't give him a card at all. We got him some little Spider-Man walkie-talkies and some other, I don't know, they're like action figure things that are Spider-Man something or other. I didn't know what to get him. We got him some Spider-Man pajamas. Because you don't know what the rest of the family is going to get him. And it's not like we have a big family. So his other great aunt was there. Great grandpa was there, my dad. Yeah, some people, like if I would have made a card for my niece, she would really appreciate it. Actually, a couple of my nieces, um, the one that recently had a baby, when we gave her the gift, she's like, "Oh, I'm more interested in the card." And that just made me feel really good. So then it's like, "Oh, I wish I would have made it even more special." You know, she looks forward to it that much. But I think that's kind of the difference between maybe boys and girls. So let's go ahead and cut out this. I'm going to put that on my magnet, and let's cut this little strip off. See what that's going to look like. Because I just don't know. Well, maybe the younger one is just trying to figure out how you made them. And then I'm going to end up having to cut these a little narrower because I didn't cut them quite on the line. I could probably even cut that a little bit more narrow, but that's kind of where the layer is. I love these little thin pieces too that look like ornamental grass, but it doesn't really work when you're mailing a card. Yes, those just because cards are fun. So I think I want to put this up here because I don't want to cover up these cute little houses here. And I'd rather cover up the little chimney piece. And the little fairy could go up high, but her wings are going to get cut off. See, it would have worked better if I'd have done the landscaped. It would have given me more room. But now I have these all glued on, so that's not going to happen. We could maybe do this little crow, though. Oh, a little crow would fit. Let's do a little bit of this here. Juju, I'm doing fussy cussing. Kind of. I'm going to cut this narrower. And I'm going to try to make it a little wonky-ish. Yeah, I do send cards to them from time to time just because. And then we've got a couple of relatives, well, like family of, like the spouse to a niece. Some of their family is having some medical issues now, so I'll just send cards randomly and let them know, hey, we're thinking about you. And they always appreciate those. All right, so That can go there-ish. And we're going to end up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice this. Let's see where our little crow is going to end up. He's going to go there. So I'm going to cut this layer here. And then I'm going to shorten it so that it looks finished. And our little crow is going to go here. And then you can still see the corner. So I kind of like that. All right, so I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals, black ones, I think. Maybe, here we go. On the tips here. And then we'll glue the rest of this on. Fill the bottom ones. Oh yeah, the bottom ones are already glued on too, Fifi. I think that's probably an old message that I just noticed. All right, so I'll put this up here. I don't mind if I cover up the chimneys. I just don't want to cover up that iridescentness. But that scrapbooking kit I had, man, there's just lots of extra pieces in that, which is really nice. There. And then a little crow can go on here. And I'm going to put him on dimensionals too, because I think that'll be cute. All right, we're getting the take your pick tool now. And we can put him here. This would be a great Halloween card for maybe my bonus grandson. All right, and then I think we're going to use black stars on this. These are the Shimmer Star foam stickers. They're pretty fun. We're just going to put a bunch of them on here, I think. Oops. Guess I have to do it from outside the package, huh? We'll just do stars all over this. There. That'll work. What do you think? Yeah, what I have found though, that because these are foam stickers or foam embellishments, sometimes the putty sticks to them and they don't slide off the paper very well. If that's what you're talking about. Take a pick or take your pick. Yeah, it's take your pick. Take your pick, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's take your pick. In fact, yes, it's take your pick. Take your pick, because I've got these putty refills so that when mine just is empty, it is take your pick. And then there's the, take your pick extra tools. So, all right, what do we think of that? That's kind of cute. And I think for the inside layer, let's do, because I may as well use up this Halloween paper, right? Because next month is already October. So let's do maybe 3 3/4 by 5. And then I can use this for the envelope. Oops, I just lost a pen. Oh, that was my Sharpie. I'll have to find that later. So let's do the envelope. Yeah, I think it turned out all right for not knowing what I was doing. So we can all not know what we're doing together, which is half the fun, right? All right. Flap on. A little envelope. Flap on. I suppose I can get rid of this. Although I'm going to need it for my white layer too. Until I'm lacking focus today. I got the envelope partway done, and now I'm going to glue the inside piece on. Then I'll go back to the envelope. That works. And then we'll put, oh, we could even put that in there to write on, but that's not a very big white spot. So if I did 3 1/4, 3 3/4 by 5, let's do 3 1/2 by 4 3/4 and see if that looks symmetrical. Oh, I think I want a little bit more of that border to show. I'm thinking let's do 1 1/4, another quarter, see how that looks. That's a little bit better. What do you think? I hate to hide all of that fun paper. Yeah, it's messy. That's all right. There was a neat desk is a sign of a sick mind. Is that how it goes? Something like that. So maybe the psychotic killers are too methodical. I don't know. And I'm just pretty random. So I'm mass making or mess making. I am not going to mass produce that one, let me tell you that. They have not announced the joining bonus yet. Although Tuesday is when we get announcements, and you figure not this coming week, but the following week is going to be October. So they're going to have to give us some details pretty quickly. And usually the announcements drop on Tuesdays. So we'll see what they announce. They said it's going to be good, so I'm interested to see what goodies await us. So there's our fun little envelope. There's our fun little card. I kind of like it. It turned out all right. Fun. And I like the iridescent windows in there, even though I'm probably going to give this to a boy. All right, so let me get this stuff off to the side, and then we're going to think through just one other card. Although, like this would be really cute. I had this from the perennial postage. I'm not sure if that's still active or not. But these would be cute. That would be cute. But I have another card base here. And what I was thinking, yeah, hopefully we'll be wiser soon. All right, what I was thinking is I got out my Everyday Arches dies. And what I thought about doing is a little tone on tone here and different shades of gray, just not 50 shades of gray. And I thought I would do this, but maybe have them up on dimensionals so it looked more like a tunnel. And then put like maybe our little hippo or something inside there peeking out for Halloween. What do you think of that? And then have some bats flying on here, and we could have bats on every layer because they'll be on dimensionals. Oh, thank you, Sally. You're so sweet. Thumbs up. Or I thought too, what I could do is create a door so that the door could open and you could see the arches. What do you think of that? So let's start. I can always add the door on in a second. So let's start putting these kind of where I need them. I think what I'll do is use those foam adhesive strips. Yeah, I figured if I kept all my arches pieces, you know, they would make good doors. And this would actually probably make another neat project where you could just, you could even use this to do like a flap to open a card. I don't know. You just never know. All right, so let's start. I need my snips here. We're going to just cut this piece here. And we'll lay this down first. I love these little foam strips. They're narrow and they are also flexible. So you can go like this to like make your window cards or your shaker cards, I mean, because they're foam, so they move really easy. And then I'm just going to do another layer up on top here, I think. All right. Yeah, simple geometric card. They'd make great masks too if you wanted to do some ink blending and just move them around to get some different shading. I think that would be pretty cool. That would be fun on a scrapbook page too. So if I do, let's see, oops. I'm just trying to see where this needs to get placed. I think right about there. Right. And this is probably going to need, because I'm going to have extra layers of foam for these layers, it's going to need extra postage if I mail it. Oh, of course should have. Are we going to use this hippo? I'll have to trim the hippo so that the hippo fits. Or I could just put the hippo here instead. And maybe that layer I won't put up, but this one I could raise a little bit again. It'll look cuter if it's raised. Yeah, don't forget the hippo. Yeah, thanks for telling me now. But if I cut him, if I put him under here, I can just cut part of that, or I can probably lift that foam piece too. I don't know if I pressed it on too hard yet. We'll see. See, sometimes if I don't like mock up a sample, I forget. Just put that there. And then one more little piece here. I have gone through more sheets of these foam strips than I can count. I really like them. I feel like it looks better behind the last arch. Yeah, behind the very bottom one here. So let's see if I can lift this up a little bit. Although maybe my spatula would work better. And even if this comes unstuck, it won't matter. I just need it to space. And it really doesn't want to let go. So I'm just going to have to cut him. So we'll just go like so. If he's about like there, we're going to cut him about there, I think. We'll just cut a little bit off and see how it looks. That'll be fine, right? All right. Yeah, I think that looks good. And then I could probably, do we want some paper behind there? I should have thought about that before I glued that on too, right? I'm just not thinking ahead. No, of course there's not a piece here. I'll get another piece of paper. We'll try some more, maybe that orange. Or let's see if there's another piece that's fun. Oh, maybe. We could put a little bit of sidewalk in there maybe. What do you think of that? Let's give it a whirl. I am going to get the die that's one size up from this. We have a tile texture die that would look great next to the hippo. A tile texture. I'm not sure what you mean. If I go to this one, I'll just play with this a little bit and see how it turns out. I'm going to walk over to my other machine so I don't have to move everything. Let's see what this little sidewalk and brick wall looks like. I can probably slide that in there. And if not, then I guess I need to cut a little bit smaller. No, I'm probably going to have to cut it smaller. That's just not going to work. All right, let's go with the next smaller die. We'll do that one. All right, one more try. I should have probably laid that die up there and taken a look at it before I came over, huh? Oh well, it's always an adventure. Maybe I just need more caffeine. I'll drink some more of my chai tea. Hello, Lori Stories and Crochet. Welcome. A little bit more of my chai there. Maybe that'll help. All right, if we put that there, I think that'll be okay. We'll tuck our little hippo in here. And I will put part of him up on dimensionals so that he's got some depth. Yeah, you think? And then I think we're to this layer. This one will go on here. And then where's my other layer? This one. Hello, Stamp and Stitch. You are a new name. I think. I don't remember you on here before. Welcome. We're just flying by the seat of our pants here. So I think with this very top layer, I'm going to have to do that flat because this layer here is even more narrow than the adhesive strips. So let's see if this, let's go ahead and glue these things in before I lose them. We like having new people here. Thanks for stopping by. Where are you from? So I'm just going to pop that in there. Press it down when it's in place, right? And then let's put some, I'm going to use big dimensionals on the back side of this, I think. Aurora, Illinois. Oh, you're not that far from me. I'm in Wisconsin, just the second county north of the border. So I'm in Racine County. I think that'll work. Well, I'm glad you popped on to comment because it's fun to have the chit chat going on. And as you may have noticed, when people comment, then, you know, I sometimes will adjust the project to see how it turns out because a lot of times thoughts are thrown out there that I would not have even thought of. So let's get rid of that for our junk from our first card. All right, so there's that. Let's go ahead and put this piece on. That'll work there. So do you do Stampin' Up? Do you do cards, scrapbooking? We got a few gals on here that do junk journaling. Apparently we're all night owls though. Well, except for Sala. It's morning for Sala. Yes, chat is helpful. What are you crocheting? Afghans or plushies? I probably could have put more adhesive strips there. If I hand deliver this, it'll be fine. If I mail it, not so much. All right, so let's put a couple of these bats on here too, because I want some of those on the layers. And then I think we need to put a little dimensional on his other wing here. Oops, that didn't work. So you must do lives for your projects. If you were looking for the chat. All right, so there's that one. Let's do another one here maybe. Oops. Get them spread out a little bit here. All right, so you do a variety of stuff. Um, I do like to crochet, but since I've been doing more of the Stampin' Up! Stuff, and especially since I started doing my lives all the time, and the fact that it's summer and I usually do Afghans, I haven't been crocheting much at all. In fact, I can't remember when I did the last crochet project. Yeah, one of the gals on my team does just a bunch of different things. There's a little bit of corner here from this dimensional I just want to try to cut out of there. I'm sure you can't see that on there. And then let's go ahead and glue this on. So that is going to, what am I thinking? This is just going to glue close to this edge here, because that top part is not going to be laying on anything. So when I had these everyday arches, when I first got them, I thought, oh, that would just make a fun archway kind of design. And since I was doing the Halloween stuff, I figured why not? And I wasn't really careful about lining up the bases of these when I cut out the arches, which was not good thinking. But this, if you were going to mail something like this, if you recreated it with these layers, you'd probably have to put it in a padded envelope or just hand deliver it. All right, so let's put another bat, maybe. Let's do another bat there. And then I'm just going to glue because I really don't need any more layers. Oh yeah, knit, cross stitch, all of that. I've done some cross stitching stuff on some of my card projects actually. Oh, don't get us started on jewelry painting. I've already been told I shouldn't do that because I'll be addicted. And I believe that would probably be true. So that looks a little plain. What do you think? Let's maybe flick a little bit on here. That's not showing too much. I probably need to get my alcohol blend. Oh, I have to put a sentiment on there. That would probably help it look not quite so plain, right? I could cut this down. Yeah, a sentiment would probably help a lot, wouldn't it? Oh, I could probably do this. I wonder if Happy Halloween would kind of fit on that. Let's do that. Versamark. Yeah, I have heard diamond painting is fun. Cross stitch does take a while. I remember I did a teddy bear sampler. Like it was probably about like this long. There were 12 teddy bears across there. When my son was born, I decorated his room in all brightly colored. Oh, that's right. We were going to do a door, weren't we? We can still add the door. Yeah, see, I lost that whole train of thought. We can still do a door. And what I'll do, oh, we'll see if I messed up my Versamark here. Yep, I did. Yeah, I messed up my Versamark. Maybe I'll just put a star on top of that. Nobody will know, right? We'll see how it looks. You are very helpful, Sela. And I'm sure everybody has seen the embossing before, but I can do it under here so we can maybe see it shimmer as we go. That H, that tap H is just not quite what it should be. But I could add a little marker to it. And if I put a star over the top of it, nobody will even know. Right? They're gonna know. All right, let's trim this off. I think I'm just gonna trim it with my snips. And I'm just gonna go kind of random with it to kind of go with that fence line maybe. And then here we'll just kind of go with the cloudiness maybe. All right. Now we could probably trim this. I like that tree on there. We could make it like a bridge card. What if I did that? We don't get to see his feet, but oh, of course, you know, we have the, if I put the door on, what did I do with all my pieces? If we put the door on, we will put another bat so it lines up with this wing. Stamp and stitch. You like doing the diamond painting. Magnets because they're small. See, I haven't even ever looked at any of that stuff because it's dangerous. So if we do this, we would almost need to put like some designer series paper on there, or yeah, there's really nothing we can stamp on there from this stamp set because I don't want to color those guys, because if I use my alcohol blends, it'll flip through to the other side of the door. So we need to just make a little hinge on here. And we could do that with the bats, maybe. What do you think? I don't know. Oh, hello, Nicole. Welcome. Well, let's go ahead and just see what other designs we might have that we could do an arch fit on them. We could probably do that one. Let's give that a whirl. And that is not quite the biggest arch. All right, I'm going to my other machine. Oh, except I need to cut this. Because it's too wide. All right, so there's a little bit left of this paper, and I kind of like, I could hang on to this fence too. We used to have a a Chihuahua, and he used to love chasing the squirrels because we have a pretty big yard and we have a number of trees. So we would send him out. we'd open the door and just say, "Squirrel," and he'd run after them. So your pity mix is probably going to be a pretty big dog. The hinges could also be at the bottom if I was going for a castle look. True, I may actually be able to kind of hide the hinge, but I glued all that. So anyway, what did I do with my piece? If we put this here, and I can put a hinge on there. If I would have been thinking, I could actually just score this and glue it right there. I think I'll do that. And then there won't be any kind of hinge. All right. Enjoy your live, Sala. Thanks for popping by. Thanks for reminding me of the things I was forgetting to put on. Dogs are great entertainment, aren't they? I used to have a Siberian Husky that would, excuse me, when I would let him out, it didn't matter if it was winter. He loved laying out in the snow. But he would venture away. He would break his chains that I had him on a tie out. And so I figured I'll get him airline cable. And he broke or chewed through the airline cable. And I used to, kind of go and hunt him down. And, it's a game to them. So if you're pursuing them, they think it's a game and they're going to run. So I eventually learned all I had to do was drive up in my vehicle, open the door, and say, "Hey, you want to go for a ride?" And he'd jump right in. And that solved that. He didn't run away anymore. Now you'll notice I didn't put any glue here because I want to make sure that my little door will open. I just want to camouflage. Yeah, Siberian Huskies do have a lot of character and they never grow up. They are always forever puppies. He was a great doggo. He was very protective of my kids. I had him when my kids were still in elementary school, grade school, like, kindergarten, first, second, third grade-ish. And he was very protective. If we were out for a walk and I had the kids riding in front of me, if anybody would be coming down the street toward us, um, he would kind of bristle up and I think I want this on the inside still. He would kind of bristle up and he would pull me. I don't like that. He would pull me until he would catch up to the kids, because he wanted to make sure that whoever was walking toward them was not going to harm them in any way. All right, so I'm going to score this here. And hopefully I will not accidentally cut yet. So let's just score it at 1/4 inch. This might end up being a little stiff, but we'll work it. So you're talking about golden retrievers? I had a neighbor that had a golden retriever. All right, let's just glue this and see what happens. And if it doesn't work out, it's just paper, right? I'm doing just a very light layer because we really don't need a lot of glue. This stuff is actually pretty strong. Yeah, my the neighbor that had the golden retriever, it was a very mild-mannered, very sweet dog. Let's see what this does. I want to make sure that sets enough. It kind of works. Of course, on this little door, I got to glue that down. I obviously didn't glue close enough to the edge for that one. So the German Shepherd was protective of kids, but you didn't have any kids? Huh. Dogs are like that, I guess. They just protect who they know they belong with. Yeah, our Chihuahua thought he was a German Shepherd. He walked around like he was a big dog. He's the last dog that my husband and I had. And when when he passed away, we just haven't gotten another dog. And then when my parents were living with us, they had a pug, which was fun. But she was pretty old too. So when she passed away, I think it's a couple years now. Now we have no pets in the house. All right. So what else do we need to do with this one? I think if I put another bat on there, that's going to be too much. I like the bat here because it camouflages the bat there. We could put another bat on here though. And that'll give that, excuse me, it'll give that wing a little more stability. This is going to be a thick card, so hand deliver it if you make one of these. These bats are not exactly symmetrical, just so you know. Well, the dogs don't realize that didn't have quite enough glue. The dogs don't realize sometimes that the squealing is happiness. Do just a little bit more glue on that. Oh, I always thought a border collie would be fun. My Siberian, my Siberian was Maxwell, Max for short, and I had a Siamese cat at the time. He was a really cool cat. That was Alexander, Alex for short. And then we had adopted a friend's farm cat who had 6 digits on his paws. And he had really big feet, so we called him Sass, short for Sasquatch. Oh, what do you think? Do I need to put anything on here? I could probably put some other figures. Let's see, from this punch out page. Oh, here's another hippo going in the other direction. Let me pull that out of here. We could do another hippo over here. That might be kind of fun. Mirror image. Or we could add a little fairy princess. Or let's take a look at this tree, see if this tree works. I feel like I need to use some of these like ephemera pieces, because if I don't use them up, Halloween's going to be over. I think I like the tree in there. I think we'll just do the tree. Yeah, my Siamese cat used to just taunt the Siberian. The Siberian Husky would fall asleep in the middle of the living room floor, and then the Siamese would walk around the living room until he woke up the Siberian Husky, and then he would run so that the Siberian would chase him, and then he would jump up on, excuse me, the dining room chair, and the dog knew that he was not allowed up there, and he couldn't do anything to get the cat because the cat was kind of out of reach, you know. So then he'd go lay down, go to sleep, and the cat would do it all over again. And they would do it over and over and over. So I'm thinking the dog was just a slow learner. And I don't know where I want the Happy Halloween, because this is all kind of fun stuff that I don't want to cover up, but I think I kind of have to. Although we could just kind of put this in here, trim it down. You kind of need a sentiment on the front though, so I think I'll just end up putting it there. We'll just border it there. It'll be fine. If I'm giving it to the kid, they're not. One of the kiddos is just going to be happy that it's a fun little card. And I put a little bit more thought into this ahead of time instead of just flying by the seat of my pants. I could have thought about some of these things ahead of time, but this is definitely going to need a foam mailer if you recreate it, or a hand delivery. Okay. And I don't think our little fairy princess needs to go on there because I don't want to add any more layers, and she would really need to be popped up on a dimensional. But there's our everyday arches with our little hippo in there. I just wonder, it just seems like the hippo should need like some candy or something. What if we did a couple of pieces of big candy corn? Like they fell out of his little basket. What do you think? I'll put one over here. My Siamese was the best cat ever, and I've had a number of cats. He had such a good personality and temperament. He used to jump from the floor up into my arms. Let's see, it looks, and I think it kind of depends on maybe what stage of life you're in. So, um, when I got that cat, I was just maybe like in a more calm or independent stage of my life. And the cat was just really mellow. He was really a good cat, not high strung or flighty like a lot of, or moody even like a lot of the Siamese are. Because I know a lot of people said, oh, you don't want a Siamese. But he was the best cat ever. He was really good. I was very sad when he died. He was old. All right. Well, I think that's kind of fun. You know, take it or leave it. A kid is going to love it. I like that tree on there, but I might have to put a little bit more glue on there too. Well, I'm sorry you weren't able to have children, especially if you wanted them, and it kind of sounds like you wanted them if you brought it up. A friend of my daughter-in-law is um, not having children because she has some medical history with cancer and she doesn't want to pass that along to a child. And they are just so involved with the nieces and nephews that I'm glad she has that outlet. Yeah, so the pets, oh, that's fun how that ended up being on the inside there. That was a little happy accident I hadn't considered. And these I'm just going to put in this lower layer so it doesn't make it any thicker. Those are really pretty, these foam stars. I think that probably has enough stuff. That's got a lot going on. Yeah, I always feel bad for people who can't have children, like our niece, our nephew and his wife. Um, they had at least 3 miscarriages that they know of and finally just had a baby. Um, the other nephew and his wife tried for many years, and they finally had a baby just a couple of years ago, and now they're having another one. So, they're some of the lucky ones. There's a lot of people that just can't ever conceive, and I feel bad for them. All right, so these are extra pieces. We'll get rid of that stuff. Get rid of our extra hippo and some of this debris so it doesn't look like I'm totally crazy. All right, I think that's what I'm done with tonight. So, I should probably decorate an envelope. I need a little more glue on this though. Stamp and Stitch. What's your first name? I'll try to remember. It'd be easier to say what your name is than Stamp and Stitch. It sounds kind of impersonal. I like to think we're all kind of friends here. Like I have all new best friends. Christine. Well, thanks for popping by, Christine. All right. So let's see. I think that's all we need to do on that. I think this is set now. I do need to make a coordinating envelope for this one. So just kind of pretend that I made its own coordinating envelope. I don't know that I'll use orange. I'll probably see if there's like a pinkish color and do that. These iridescent treat bags were really fun. That's what I used to put behind the windows here. And named after Christmas, so you must have a December birthday. And then let's see. So I'm trying to think which one is from Aurora. I wasn't really watching. Is that you, Christine, or was that the other Lori? I'm trying to go through some of the comments here. So Christine, that was you from Aurora. Okay. I like to try to keep it in my head a little bit. And if I say it out loud, then I can sometimes remember. So, all right. So there's our 2 cards. It took us a long time to do this tonight, but okay. So Lori, you're in Colorado. I think I forgot to ask you where you were from. My son almost went to, well, I shouldn't say he almost went to because he didn't get accepted. He wanted to go to the Air Force Academy. He wanted to be a pilot, but he was deaf in one ear and had less than perfect vision. So he was kind of disqualified. It is a beautiful state. All right. I think that's all I have for you tonight, ladies. This was a little bit of a struggle when I didn't know what I wanted to do. It's like, oh, the last 3 nights I was doing that scrapbooking kit, so I hadn't really thought too far ahead, but I thought, oh, we'll just do more Halloween stuff. So I used some of the major things we used here were the everyday arches for this one and the spooky Halloween sentiment, the happy Halloween, and the dies. I need to get my other die put away here so I don't lose it. Yeah, playing is fun, and that's, I think since I started doing lives every day, which was since January of this year, I have, because I'm in my craft space every day, it's really helped. Not only helped me to use my supplies, but to kind of stretch myself with the creativity. And when I have other people on here to chat with, it helps because then all of you can help give suggestions about what to make. So I appreciate it that you all play along with me. And if you haven't already subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. The thumbs up or the hearts are always helpful. And feel free to share this. And if you decide to copy and share everything or copy and slightly edit everything, feel free to do so. And I will post pictures on my Facebook page, which is also Laura's Little Bit of Crafting. I will post pictures of these projects on my Facebook page. So if you should make something, if you copy these, if you make something similar, feel free to post a picture on the comments there on my Facebook page. I don't have the community option here on YouTube, so you won't be able to post things here. But I welcome seeing what you create. You're welcome, Nicole. I'm glad you stopped by. You're expecting a whole load of Halloween Happy Mail this week? Ooh, yay. Kits, dies, and paper. Very fun. Very fun. I have something coming this week, but I don't remember what I ordered. I'd have to look. I know I ordered the kit for World Card Making Day, which is October 4th. And that's a free online event from Stampin' Up. So and it's just an hour. It goes from 2 to 3 Mountain Time. So if you go to my page, you can find the link for World Card Making Day. You can watch, even if you don't have the kit, you could still watch. There should be some, I don't know, techniques and tips and stuff shared during that. And I will share my kit. I'll do like an unboxing when I get my kit. I think it's coming Friday. And I ordered some other things, probably just some supply kind of things. But when I get my kit, I'll kind of do an unboxing. It's a nice, like, almost like a storage box for the cards and the envelopes, and you can put your postage stamps and different things in there. So, so you've got stamps coming from Art Impressions this week. It's always fun to get that happy mail. Very fun. All right, so spooky Halloween. If you're interested in what I did with those scrapbooking pages, I've got videos from the last 3 nights that I made the 3 2-page spreads from the Halloween Memories scrapbooking kit. And that's all I got. That is all I have got for today. And I'm just typing up a quick message here. Thank you for joining me and for sharing your creative ideas. So until next time, happy crafting, and I will be back probably like in about 22 hours or so. Have a good day, everybody. See you next time. It has been a slice. Thanks for popping in.